let's go straight across to India. Today's cricket expert, legendary Sunil Gavaskar, now joining me to look back at that first show in Australia. Mr. Gavaskar, if I were to ask you which was probably the most reckless shot of the day by the top order, in fact the entire batting lineup, who would you pick? Because it seemed that the Indian batting was playing a T20 match and not a test match except for Pujara.
Well, when wickets fall in a heap, why single out one shot? It was disappointing for the simple reason that these are all experienced players. If it was a newcomer who went for those shots not knowing what Australian conditions are like or what kind of bounce there is on Australian pitches, that would have been understandable. But these were all experienced players and they went chasing for deliveries outside the off stump. Once again, emphasizing that you must play more matches. You can't play that just one-off, 4-day game and hope to get your bat swing and the rhythm of a 4-day game. So clearly, I think this tour is, for the last 1 year we've been talking about it, but hopefully for the next tours to these countries, particularly South Africa, England, and to Australia, everything will be forgotten, and we will talk in terms of having more matches for them, and therefore giving them the chance, the best possible chance to acclimatize to the pitches and the conditions and win for India.
But the fact, Mr. Gavaskar, is that it wasn't so much the pitch as much as just the shot playing. Now, you've been an opening batsman, the greatest opening batsman this country has produced. Take a look at what's happening with our opening batting. KL Rahul oozing with talent and yet struggles. Everybody says he should be persisted with. He had a 100 in England, but apart from that, he's failed consistently. Is there something wrong with him? Should we be persisting with him as an opener? Is there something wrong with the way we play at the top of the order?
Well, every batsman, including Sir Don Bradman, has had a weakness around the off stump. But what your mindset tells you is that, look, I've got this weakness, so I will now take it easy while the ball is swinging and look to play in the V. Now, that is not what Rahul is looking to do. Rahul is looking to try and hit his way out of trouble. If you saw that 100 at the Oval, it was a magnificent 100, but he started out by playing all these kinds of aerial shots. It was like a do-or-die effort, and he did. But he could have easily, because he played and missed a few of Anderson and Broad as well at that stage, he could have also ended up, getting out early. Now, he's much better than that. He is much better than that. And really what he needs to do is to say to himself that he's only going to play in the V. I think technically he's making a lot of mistakes. We talked about his technical deficiencies in England, where his back foot is, because he's a tall man, his back foot is moving too much around the off stump, and therefore then with that front strike coming forward, he's playing at deliveries around the 5th or 6th stump. He's not having an idea where his off stump is. And unfortunately that has not been addressed by him, and therefore he finds himself in trouble.
Let's talk about our fellow Mumbaikar, Rohit Sharma, again hugely talented. There's been so much talk that we need to bring back Rohit Sharma. He gets his opportunity, looks good, but then plays a horribly loose shot. I mean, how do you explain that, the manner in which he keeps getting out in very, very soft manners, in a very soft manner? He must be dreadfully disappointed.
He definitely would be. You can say that it's your natural game, but if you have a look at that shot, you will see that a lot of times when you decide to go for the big shot, it's not a reflect action. It is somewhere you premeditate, and it was a premeditated foray down the pitch. Nathan Lyon saw him coming, he shortened his length. If he had pitched it further, that ball would have come sweetly in the middle of the bat and it would have gone over mid-wicket for a 6. But this is test cricket. And while you can get away with it in white ball cricket, because you just swing the bat and hope it connects well, here you're playing against a very clever bowler who saw you coming down the pitch and therefore shortened his length, and eventually therefore he had to wait for the ball. And in waiting for the ball automatically is going to go towards square leg. So unless he was going to middle it, he was going to get out. He didn't middle it, he edged it, and he got out.
One very quick reaction from you on Usman Khwaja's catch of Virat Kohli. I mean, Virat Kohli, is really the match winner for India. Gets out this time to an absolute blinder. In England, there were a number of catches dropped of him in the slip cordon. Today there was this spectacular catch, and you perhaps need something brilliant to get rid of him. Virat Kohli, unlucky in his first innings in Australia this time?
Absolutely. You can't get the likes of Virat Kohli out cheaply unless there's some brilliant bowling or some brilliant effort in the field. And that was an outstanding catch. Even the Australians, because the Australians, if you heard Darren Lehman later on, or Michael Clarke, who's in commentary, they know that Usman Khawaja was not the best of fielders maybe a couple of years back. They all say that he's worked hard. He's shed about 10 or 12 kilos. He's looking lighter. He's leaner, and therefore he's moving that much quicker. And so that was an outstanding catch. It was to his left. He's a left-hander. Sometimes things go your way. That catch could maybe a little bit later, when Cheteshwar Pujara played a similar shot, he got away with it. So sometimes luck has got to be your way, and unfortunately it wasn't Virat's way, but that was a stupendous catch by Usman Khawaja.
One final question to today's hero of the day, Mr. Gavaskar. Cheteshwar Pujara almost reminds you of the old style test batsman. People like you who could bat time, who didn't worry about what was going on around them, who knew where their off stump was. How would you rate this knock of his? One of his finest knocks that he scored his first big 100 in Australia?
Yes, I'd agree with him, because it's one of the finest test match innings that you can see. Because look at the circumstances. The circumstances where the Indian team was in trouble. They had lost their most prolific batsman, their captain, Virat Kohli, the one wicket that the opposition was seeking. And then, after that, to hold the innings together, like he did, that partnership with Ravichandran Ashwin, there's a little partnership with Rohit Sharma and Rishabh Pant as well. A useful partnership, but the big partnership was with Ravichandran Ashwin. And what his century has done, it has given India a foothold in the game. They've got a 250. That means they are still in the game, because if their bowlers can bowl as the Australians did and get early wickets, India can still restrict Australia to maybe about their total, or maybe under their total, and therefore stay in the match.
That brings me to my final question. Do you believe this is a good enough total, 250? Considering Australia have to bat fourth in this test match, you predicted a 3-0 win for India in the series.
Exactly. That's what I think, that India is still in the game because of the fact that they've added those 70-80 runs. If Pujara hadn't got those, India could well have been dismissed for about 180, and that wouldn't have been enough. What they've really done is, by having a score of 250, and hopefully Mohammad Shami will swing the bat tomorrow and add maybe 10-15 or more runs, it gives the bowlers just a little bit of an opportunity to put some pressure on the Australian batsmen. Remember, this is an untested Australian batting side. They've got a new opening pair in Marcus Harris and Aaron Finch. The number 3, 4, 5 have not been very consistent. Khawaja is coming back after a long layoff. Sean Marsh is not very consistent. So India do have a chance, because they've got to 250.
Sunil Gavaskar, our cricket expert through this series, appreciate your joining us.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.